Enjoy, Reverend Searcy.
Good morning, Unity of Hartford. Right now, I want you to bring to mind your highest dream or aspiration. The one that when you give yourself permission to think about it, it absolutely takes your breath away. See it in your mind's eye right now. Move around it in the faculty of your imagination. You got it? My name is Reverend Felicia Searcy, your Dream Life Activator. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. And this morning, I want to help you understand that that's the way that you are meant to live, your next move. And I want to show you how to bring this amazing, even more amazing life that you have from the faculty of your imagination into the facts of your life. All right, so let's get started. Let me share with you why I am on fire with this. I've been a student of universal law, unity principles for decades. I learned them, I applied them, my life got good. In fact, outside looking in, I wanted for nothing. Yet, there were still two areas in my life where I just felt frustrated and stuck. Now, here's the thing that was happening for me that could possibly be happening for you. When I looked at those two areas, there was a part of me that felt guilty for wanting more because my life was so rich. Yet there was an ache that no matter what I did or how I applied law, it wasn't changing. I couldn't move past a certain point. And I felt really guilty for even wanting more. And there was one time in particular where I poured my heart and soul, just poured my energy into an initiative, thinking that this was going to be the thing to break the energy free. Well, and the thing about it was that it didn't. It fell flat. It wasn't bad. It was good. Just like my life. It was good. But deep down, and here's the thing that I want you to really tap into. Deep down, I knew that there was so much more that life, that spirit wanted for me. And I was just stuck. And knowing how to unlock the power of principle the way I knew that it could work in my life. And that's when I made a decision, the kind that you don't back up from. And as a result of that decision, I have discovered literally a paint by numbers spiritual success system that I get to share with you now. Now, let me share with you what happened as a result of that experience and my decision. As I began to learn that formula and apply it to my life took off. So two areas for me, and I'm going to invite you to think about 4 different areas here in a moment. There were 2 areas that were really sticking points for me, the area of my vocation and my income. I wanted to grow both because I wanted to make a bigger impact in both of those areas. And when I began to apply these principles in a systematic, nuanced, granular way that I just didn't understand before, it's been breathtaking what's happened. As a result, I now have the honor of serving the dreams of thousands of people literally around the world. My income, and that was an important area for me because I wanted to be able to grow my wealth in order to be able to give more. And what I'm grateful for is that I've worked with the dreams of thousands of people around the world. I've had the honor of generating millions of dollars in my business, which has allowed me to give tens of thousands of dollars away, tens of thousands of dollars a year away to organizations that are deeply meaningful for me. We live in an area that we absolutely love. My health is better than ever. Relationships rich and deep. Every area of my life has gotten better. Good for me, right? Here's the thing that I want for you to know for you. Whatever the story is that you're telling about your next iteration of your dream life, the thing I want you to know is that your dream, the results are great. But the real gift that comes from your dream is what happens for you in the process. See, your dream is not to get things. It's life's way, it's spirit's way of inviting you into an even greater version of you. It's the way that spirit grows you into more of who you are created to be. The purpose of your dream is not to get things. It's for who you become in the process. And this is what we're up to. All right, so let's look at the foundation upon which all of this is built. So when you think about who we are as these amazing beings, I want you to really take this in right now. And I know this isn't anything new that you haven't heard, but I want you to really let it land deep. That you are this unlimited being with unlimited capacity to create. It's breathtaking how powerful you are. And what is that creative capacity? It's your thinking capacity. I love that quantum physics is now proving what spiritual masters have taught throughout the ages, that what we predominantly mentally rehearse and charge with our emotions has a signal to it. There's a vibration. This vibration then gets impressed into this invisible field where there are waves of energy hanging out what quantum physics calls superposition. And whatever it is that you are emitting primarily, that then becomes the organizing pattern for this field of energy. That what you predominantly think and feel, this energy will then attract to you and organize accordingly. And that's then what creates your results. I love what Charles Fillmore said, where he said, thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. Thoughts in mind produce what's out here. It's the basic explanation of the law of attraction, which is actually a secondary law to the law of vibration. We've all heard it. And there are those places where it just seems to stick. There's just those sticking points. And if we really got this, if we really understood, not just conceptually, the power of our thinking, but really got it, we would come to understand that this is the most potent, powerful, holiest of all energies. It is the most powerful of energies, and we would come to understand what is it to build our life to unlock this energy. And we would also come to understand what is it to live our life from the most powerful question that we can live from. Because if this is where the energy is hanging out, then it stands to reason that we want to be intentional. I mean, granularly intentional about what is it that we're mentally rehearsing across the movie screen of our mind. And we would learn to work with the most potent, powerful of all questions, which is, what would I love? What would I love? What would I love to do, have, give, be? What would I love? So right now, bring to mind what you would love, your next iteration. Here's the thing. You've already built out a highly successful life. I know that about you. You're brilliant. You look at your life, and it's been amazing what you've done. And there may even be a little part of you that begins to feel guilty when you even start entertaining this question. But the thing I want you to realize is that that question is not your question. That's life-seeking fulfillment, riches, a greater expression through you. And when you begin to enter into that holy conversation with the question, what would I love? What you're actually doing is entering into a holy dialogue, a holy conversation with the very power that animated you. Because this power is inviting you to know more of who you are created to be and asking more for you and from you. All right, so begin to put that on for yourself. Now, there's 4 areas that I encourage people to think about when you're thinking about the answer to that question. Your health, your relationships, your vocation, how you're sharing, your gifts, your talents, your capabilities, whether it's paid or volunteer. And then your freedom in your calendar and in your checkbook. So begin to literally, let's go 3 years out. Not because we've got a strategic plan going, but because there's a part of you that has an opinion about what you think you can accomplish in a year. You're not so sure about 3 years. So put it on. Begin to put that on and just move around in it. Now, you've done this before. I know you have. You've been coming to Unity. This is what we do. You got a vision board, you got your vision, you look at it, you walk out the door, and then you just get caught up in life. And you begin to wonder, why is it that it's not really moving at the rate that you want your things, life, your dream to move at the rate that you want it to move? This is about the time when people start talking about they have limiting beliefs, that they have to work on limiting beliefs. And believe me, your limiting beliefs can absolutely be showstoppers. But at this point, it's not limiting beliefs that are stopping you. If you want to know what's really stopping you, and as you really try to get going, it's that your desire actually starts getting watered down. What happens is you get out in your world and you start seeing everything that you got to take care of, or you're just dreaming too big, or it's not going to work for you, or you don't want to work that hard, or who do you have to leave behind? Or a big one is you've got too much to lose. All of that starts chipping away at your resolve, at your desire. It starts watering your dream down. If you have a watered down dream, you will not have the steam required to keep taking the necessary action in order to achieve your dream. A watered down dream will actually slow you down and cause you to get disappointed, discouraged, frustrated. And this is when you get stuck and you start questioning, is this really God's will for me? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? Maybe I just need to be happy with where I am. And all of it is because you have allowed yourself to water down your desire. Think of it this way. When you have water at the temperature of 211 degrees, what do you have? Really hot water. You just have hot water. Now, what happens at the temperature of 212 degrees? That water starts boiling. It goes through what's called a phase change, where it literally changes from water to steam. Now, the power of this is you can now harness that steam and light up entire cities. That 1 degree difference, that 1 degree makes all the difference between kind of sort of going for your dream or playing full out and really going for it. So the question is, are you at 212 degrees with your dream, with your desire? So let's talk about what's required to build your desire. Number one, understand where that desire comes from. Again, that desire is not your desire. That's spirit, that's God, that's life itself, seeking a richer, freer, fuller expression by means of you and asking you to discover more of who you are created to be. Remember, we're unlimited in our capacity. We have unlimited capacity to create anything that we desire. The only way that spirit has awakened you up to that unlimited capacity is by putting a desire in your heart, and it's up to you to fan the flame of that desire. Then you want to work with the question, what would I love? Because the more you're able to see it, the more you're able to literally start believing it and let yourself want it, that you understand that that's not your dream. That's not your prayer to God. That's God's prayer to you. Now, from that point, now you start working on a bigger believing. You start working on those limiting beliefs, which is actually you working on a bigger believing. Because now what you want to do is that you want to start building an identification with your dream. You will never outperform the way you see yourself. So now you want to literally start seeing yourself as the person who's living this, the person who's doing this. And again, this is a mistake that people often make, that you try to achieve it from who you are today. Who you are today is a perfect fit for your current life. You're not a fit for your dream life. How do we know? It's not in the land of your results. So you begin to build a bigger believing by doing what I call literally zipping yourself into the skin of the man or the woman who achieved this dream. You do that by working with a couple of questions. One of them is, if I really believed this was possible, if I really believed my dream was possible, how would I feel right now? You would feel so grateful, fulfilled, joyous. The amazing thing is that you have that ability to feel that way now. The second thing that you begin to do is to start asking yourself, how is it that God sees me? Let me see myself from the perspective of the person who achieved this. Let me see myself the way that God sees me. Let me walk into this room as if I'm already that person, that God has shown me who I am in my potential. And I put that on now as I walk into this room, as I have this conversation, as I drive my car. That you be that person now. You're going to be somebody. You're going to be the person who achieved your current life, or you're going to be the person who achieved your dream life. The reason why this is so powerful is that you begin to do what's called generate state, that you're generating a state of being. And in this state of being, you literally start thinking differently. Different areas of your brain literally light up. You now have access to a whole nother level of creativity and possibility and a connection to the stream of intelligence that's always guiding you. And from this state of awareness, you can now see opportunities and hear ideas that have been there all along. You just didn't have access to them thinking from same old, same old. You can cultivate this more specifically by working with two questions. Question number one, if I really believed my dream was possible, what is the action step I would take? That, my friends, is the real act of faith. Faith is not a feeling, although you definitely want a faithful feeling at times, but faith is an action. And it's an action related to something bigger than what your facts are giving you permission. And if we really believe in the power of our thinking, then you come to understand that your image is more powerful than what's going on in your outside world. The way that I say it is that image is supreme to form. And if you really believe that, if we believe what unity teaches, then you begin to really work with this question. If I really believed in the power of my dream, if I believed in the origin of my desire, if I believe that this is my next iteration that Spirit is inviting me to, and I know it is because it's what brings me most alive, what are the action steps for me to take? And put a time limit on it. The next 24, 48 hours. Don't take it way out because there's a part of you that's going to want to argue with this and keep you right where you are. So cause yourself to think in terms of, what would I do now? What would I do within the next 12 hours? What would I do in the next 24 hours? And you write down every single idea that comes to you. And you put them on your calendar and you start working on it. And that whole process, imagining, asking the question, what would I love? Zipping yourself into the skin of the person who achieved this, asking what action steps are for you to take, rinse and repeat as you are literally increasing your capacity to allow a greater degree of good into your life because you're seeing yourself living that way. Watch how, first of all, you transform and that deep sense of well-being that comes for you and your deeper understanding and application of how to truly apply law in relationship to your life, and watch your world reorganize accordingly. All right, I would love to hear how, as you apply this, that it happens for you. These are the kinds of things that I work on with people in my speaking and coaching business. So, you can Google me and shoot me an email and let me know what's happening for you as you're applying what you're hearing here today. My name is Reverend Felicia Searcy. It is my joy to be your partner in believing. Your dream is my passion. Mwah! God bless.